rant today, though. So, everybody just take a seat and just kind of be patient with me. The rant I want to talk about today is basically, a lot of people with disabilities know this everyone very well. Is all the people that decide they want to park in the handicap parking spots that either don't have a placard or they're abusing somebody else's placard. I've noticed several people, in fact, that had placards that could get around a lot better than I could, had no limps, no artificial limbs. Most of them, several of them that I've seen that have been using it, they could walk really well. I mean, even on hot days where they're wearing shorts, you can tell they don't have any artificial limbs. So it's not a case of an artificial leg or something. No disability whatsoever that I could notice. No oxygen. And some of them, it seems that they get them just purely because they're overweight. I know there are problems like thyroid and things like that that could justify why people are why people are medically overweight. It's something that I don't think they should deserve necessarily a disability permit for. And the law does state that, at least where I live, it states you've got to be able to walk 200 feet unassisted. And if you can't, then you can qualify for a disability permit. That placard ended up being the only reason that some days after I went to get my groceries that I could get back into my truck, or get home and get back into my truck. Yes, there are reasons why some people can get them and some people can't, obviously. So yes, I know there's reasons why people medically can have that, or have those that are not just walkings. Like I said, my dad, before he passed away, he was on oxygen for a long time, and he had days where he couldn't go without the oxygen, where he couldn't get out and go do anything, and maybe every once in a while he would have a good enough day where he could get around without his oxygen for a couple hours. And so people that are abusing it or don't have one, well, there's a nice little program that I found it's for iPhone and for Android phones right now. They don't have one for Windows Mobile yet, but it lets you. It's called Parking Mobility. It allows you to take 3 pictures with your smartphone of a car that you think is violating or abusing the placards, and it allows you to report them. It actually submits the report for you. It picks up the GPS locations of where you're at off your phone, and it submits it to the city, whoever has the jurisdiction for where you're at. To me, that's like one of the coolest apps, especially for catching these people, because you don't need to call the DMV or the police and have them deal with it, because most of the time they don't want to deal with it anyway. I've had people tell me, websites also tell me, or the state, in the city where I live, call 911, report it to them, they'll go out and deal with it. To me, I want to leave the 911 system open for emergencies, for life and death type emergencies, not for parking violations. Okay? I always thought there's got to be a better way to report these. And sure enough, Parking Mobility is that way. There's a couple other apps I'm sure out there for that, but Parking Mobility is a great one. One of the things that Parking Mobility does that I don't know any other app that does, or any other company that does, is they will actually take money that, from the money collected from the fines of any time they write a ticket based on one of your reports. They will send money, a portion of that money, to the charity of your choice. Whether it be for disability charities, children's charities, it doesn't matter. You get to pick the charity, and they send it there. There are a lot of charities out there I'd like to give money to, and if I can get other people to help contribute to that, whether or not they want to, well, that's just what they get for using those parking spaces. Those parking spaces are there for a reason. They need extra room. Like for me, I need to be able to get my door open all the way. If my door isn't open all the way against the stops, it's really hard for me to get in and out. My door has to go all the way until it stops opening, and it's pretty tall. I get my wheelchair out through the back door, but the front door, I can grab my crutches and get down out of my front door. But I have to open the door up all the way until it stops. Otherwise, I'm going to be pushing the door against the car beside me. Because then I got to lean on the door. I've got to use the door as leverage to get down. That hash marks and those Actually, those wide handicap spots are there for a reason, and it's so people that have disabilities can get in and out of their vehicles. For the rest of us that can use those and need those, well, I'm out there to help. I want to try to make it a little better place for people with disabilities, and so I'm just going to keep on figuring out different ways that I can help and spreading the word on things that I find. Anyway, everybody, you have a great time.